Bro, I'm just gonna go. Just play that and then I'll go. I'll just go when I feel like it.
I mean, you get in when you feel
3,
like you need
2,
to get in.
1. Bro, you broke my heart in two. Now I can't stop drinking about you. Talking to this empty bar stool. Wishing I was talking to you. Driving down this old dirt road. I find myself with nobody to go. Lost myself, I'm losing control. Girl, why don't you just come home? Bro, Matt's over there sleeping. He's about to have dreams of
Coming home, bro, on that empty bar
He's gonna be
stool.
talking to a bar stool.
Bro, he's driving down that road of dirt.
All right, episode 9. We're back.
We're back. Episode 9. We have a special guest with us today.
Special guest.
This is Block,
This
a.k.a.
is
Block.
Block A.
We can go with Block.
This is Block. So, introduce yourself a little bit. Talk about tell the people what you do.
Well, I'm Block.
Okay.
I'm a fireman. Been a fireman for like 3.5 years. Worked on the ambulance a little bit before that. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, you call it fireman?
Yeah, fireman, firefighter. I mean,
You prefer like a fireman?
I don't have a preference.
So
I
you-
know.
when people
I know some
ask
people
you-
do.
When people ask you, you're like fireman.
I'm fireman.
I'm a
That's
fireman.
fair.
Okay.
Fireman. I know. There's a lot of women in the service, so they're
Oh, firewomen?
just firefighter.
Firefighter.
Firefighter. I think that's kind of.
Oh, okay. So it just kind of, okay. I get what you're
I don't
saying.
know. I don't really.
You're
think
being all inclusive.
I don't think it's a problem, but
No.
I'm a fireman.
Okay. That's good. Why'd you decide to be a firefighter?
Well, it's what my dad did and does, and he was able to kind of give me the upsides to it. You know, you get a lot of time off.
Right. Which you do. It seems like every time I hit you up, you're
Yeah.
off work.
For sure.
Yeah, I take off quite a bit. I'm actually off right now. Tore my rotator cuff.
Really?
Yeah. So
How'd you do that?
That's with the beard. I was benching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
pretty bad? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I've been doing PT, and then I'm gonna be off I'm going to the surgeon on the 16th.
That's crazy, bro. I didn't
Mhm.
know that. Were you
It's tough.
benching a lot, or was it just
It was
tweaked
just just dumbbells, I think, and they were a little bit too heavy.
Well,
and
that'll
maybe
happen.
had something
That's
wrong.
crazy. I
But
didn't
yeah.
even know that. You said the other day in the group text, you were like, I got to go to PT, and then I was
Yeah.
like, that's weird. I don't know what that's about, but
Yeah.
there you go. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
been doing PT, and then like I said, they don't know if they're gonna have surgery on it or not.
Really? It's that bad?
Yeah.
Damn.
So I might be off for a while.
Wow.
So it's the beard.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Hopefully, if
Yeah.
you have surgery, it's pretty like easy, simple deal.
Yeah.
Like if it
Yeah.
reaches a point, you're gonna probably want surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have like a shoulder is pretty
yeah.
important to have full
I feel like you need a shoulder.
Yeah.
full movement
Well-
function with.
Man, it's one of those things where if I don't get it fixed now, I'm gonna end up hurting it again,
Yeah.
and so it's better just to get it fixed. Like heavy lifting is inevitable with my job, so
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
it'd be better to go ahead and just get it fixed.
So, did you know that you wanted to be a firefighter since you were a kid? Or did you just kind of, as you got older, you're like, you know what? I think that's a good idea.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't really know. My dad's an electrician.
Oh,
My
yeah. You
grandpa's
tried
an
that. Yeah.
electrician. My grandpa's dad was an electrician.
Right.
So it was kind of either that or, and I worked with my grandpa all through high school. So
Right.
it was either that or firefighting. And then when I got older, I realized like how good some of the benefits were
Right.
to firefighting. I
Yeah,
was like,
100%.
Dude,
And
and you
that's-
had it like better than probably most people just because you had your dad's like knowledge and
mhm.
Facts, bro.
Input
You kinda
on
knew what to
everything.
expect.
Yeah, it's
how much did that help you? Quite a bit.
Oh, dude, yeah, a lot. Just like knowing the steps to be a good applicant,
Yeah.
and then being able to like go up to the fire station that he works at and do like mock interviews and
Oh, yeah. That's
kind of
cool.
see how
Mhm.
they operate. Because, dude, when you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, you
Yeah.
just
And they
like you have no idea what
You don't
it's
know.
actually like.
they
Yeah.
take those interviews pretty harsh too, don't they?
Yeah, it's
I
it took-
remember you
it
going
took me
through
a
the
year to get on,
process.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why I ended up working for the ambulance. It was
Yeah.
just like
Just a little pastime kind of thing.
like use my EMT,
Yeah.
looks good on a resume, like.
Yeah.
But it took me a year to get on,
Hell
and
yeah.
I think a lot of that was just because I was 20.
right.
Like
Yeah,
just
they want some
pretty young,
experience.
you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's departments like the biggest one here. They get 1,000 applicants.
Yeah,
Like
A
constantly.
lot of people trying to do it. How many people were in your class graduating? Because you have to go through
that's
the
a good question.
program.
Yeah, so Fire Academy. I think there was probably 20 to 25.
Dang. So just in that year, you had that many people trying to.
Yeah, and
Get
that's
on.
not even with the department. That's a college thing.
Yeah,
like,
just to get your
just to
basic
get
stuff out
Just
of
to
the way.
get the stuff to go apply.
to go apply, and then if
Yeah.
you go to a big department, like they have an academy that you have to go through, like
Right.
their academy.
Wonder how like the big city fire
Yeah,
is like, because like Oklahoma, you're not really hitting into any like major huge, like think about like New York or
Yeah,
somewhere like that. Like
yeah, those guys stay busy.
Yeah,
and
bro.
I'm pretty sure they're so busy that they do 12-hour shifts,
Yeah.
to where we do 24. Like,
Dude, because all their buildings go up. Like if you have a fire, like that's a hassle, dude.
and that's so far out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy. I
our-
can't even imagine that.
our tallest building where I work is 3 stories
Yeah,
or 4.
imagine 70.
Oh, dude, yeah, I don't even know.
That'd be
Like, you
horrible.
get into like a whole different side of like, how do you get water to the
Yeah.
68th
How do you
floor?
even get up there?
So like to
That's
where
nuts,
us,
dude.
we hook hoses to the truck
Yeah.
and go in,
Right.
and they have these things called standpipes where they have a big pipe like it's usually in like where the stairwell's at,
Right.
and then the fire truck will hook to that.
And then that goes
and
all the way
then-
up the stairs.
Then you just carry your hose up there and then hook to that.
Wow, that's actually nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: you said your dad was a firefighter growing up, all this kind of stuff. What did he think about you wanting to do that, or your mom? What did they say about it?
Was he hesitant at all, or
No, you know, you obviously see some stuff, and
Right.
you know, there's a lot of people that struggle with alcoholism and drug
Right.
abuse and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't think that was ever. I mean, obviously, we had conversations about it, like, hey, you know, you got to be prepared to see this stuff. But dude, you go through the school,
Yeah.
they teach you
and,
all that?
like, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Hell yeah.
there wasn't a lot of hesitation. It was like he knew.
He knew what you were getting into, and he just wanted to like talk to you about it.
Well, he knew I wasn't college
Yeah.
material. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
well, and you know what? I was about halfway through my academy,
Mhm.
and I told my dad, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I don't know if this is for me. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, I don't care if you work a single day as a fireman. You're gonna finish the academy,
Mhm.
get through, and then you can go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just as long as you have that under your belt.
yeah, like,
And
don't start stuff and not finish, kind of thing.
I feel like the academy kind of goes along with every other school. They push you to like your max, like potential, like what
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
gonna see. Like once you get a job somewhere, you're probably a little easier on your feet. But like that's what the academy's for, is like train you,
Mm-hmm.
get you ready for like the worst possible outcome.
Well, it really instills like a lot of good qualities.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things that they do that take a high school kid and turn him into a grown up.
Right.
You know, like accountability for your clothing.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah. What you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like every morning, we'd start with like 5. It's, you know, it starts off at the beginning of the academy like 2 miles, 3 miles, and then towards the end, well, we like the halfway point on, you're running 5 miles in the morning.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Doing push-ups. You know, so you have your workout in the morning, and then everybody goes in. You have like 45 minutes to take a shower and get ready.
Right.
And then there's a lineup. You know, you line up, and somebody walks by and checks your whole thing. Like if
thing.
you have like little pieces in your stitching are hanging off, you know, we have lighters to like burn them and stuff.
Really, it was
Dang.
that detailed.
So they
Yeah,
were,
like boots polished, everything.
Yeah,
your
I remember you having to
haircuts.
polish your boots and all that.
Yeah.
so you were running if anything was off.
Oh yeah, you do
You
down
were
and
just
backs.
down for the count, huh?
Down and backs, which was down to the gate and back.
Right.
And it was a half mile.
Dude, and
Damn.
you were going through that when we were in like our
Party
pretty
phase.
pretty heavy party phase. Like I remember Blake being like, "Dude, I got to be up in 3 hours."
Yeah, dude. And you're crunching EMT, firefighter 1, firefighter 2, hazmat awareness and hazmat ops in 6 months.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
so, I mean, you're constantly testing, studying,
Hey.
and then trying to stay on top of your like PT. And then for me, it was an hour drive.
Yeah,
And
dude, that's crazy.
Almost a 2 hour drive back
Right.
because of traffic. And so,
Drive there, work your ass off, run, all that.
yeah. And I mean, we started PT at 6. And it was
And
an hour drive. It was an hour drive for me.
When did you get home?
Probably 6.
Jeez.
We'd get off it. I mean, it depended on like what we were doing that day. If we
Right.
did like live fire, which they have a burn tower, they'd set fires in there, and we'd do like all of our training and stuff. But
So let me ask you this: you've been a firefighter for a while now. You went through all that. Is it what you thought it'd be?
not at all.
Really?
No.
So why is that?
And even having like insight to what it is to be a fireman,
Yeah.
you know, just watching my dad growing up.
Everybody's different, kind of.
It's just completely different. Well, and every department's different.
Different. They run stuff different.
Yeah.
All that
even
stuff.
even different stations within
The
like
station.
city. I don't even know how many departments or how many stations they have, but
Right.
you can go to one station and the culture's completely different at the
Right.
next. And so
You're
Yeah.
enjoy. At least you seem like you got on at a good. Like
yeah,
you're enjoying the guys you work with. That's big.
Man, I'll tell you, the department that I'm at, it's a really young department,
Right.
and so everybody's around my age.
Hell yeah.
That makes it nice.
Well, I mean, I say around my age, like
Within 5,
within 10,
10
Within
years.
10.
within
Yeah.
10. And so that makes it like
Yeah.
pretty cool,
Right.
especially like once you get in,
Yeah.
because it takes a while. You know, you have a group of guys that are super close,
Yeah.
and then you have a new guy come in.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not exactly like open arms. Like,
Yeah.
prove yourself. You know,
Yeah. They
show
got to
that
figure
you're
out what
not
kind of guy you are.
show that you're not a dirtbag.
Yeah.
But once you're in, it's like
So
it's awesome.
with that whole thing, like, you kind of mentioned that the guys there, it's important to you and all that. You kind of developed a brotherhood, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear you talk all the time about how, like, oh, the guy I work with, or like my buddy at work, like,
Yeah, it's crazy. You know,
because
like
those people are going into some crazy shit with you.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
all
you
times.
got to be close to those guys, and
Yeah.
you're spending 24 hours at a time with them.
mhm.
like-
well, I mean, and you live with them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we sleep in the same room.
Yeah.
You know, so we eat breakfast together, we eat lunch together, we eat dinner together,
Right.
sleep together.
Yeah.
Not in a
That's
not in a gay way.
dude. They
But-
sleep together, dude.
We sleep in the same room.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like you have your family there, and
Yeah.
you got your family here.
Yeah, it's
You
cool though, right?
No, it's really good.
Do you guys just have like one alarm that wakes all you up?
Yeah. How do you do that?
Or
I think I actually have a recording of it. If you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right.
And see
obviously
that-
when there's a fire, like you guys have like a big
you ever
alarm.
record? Is
but-
it a video?
No, it's a sound.
Okay, yeah, just play it.
So they were testing our sirens,
What's your
and
code?
I recorded it just so I had it to like mess with guys.
Right.
So, oh shit, oops. All right, so this is it.
That's what wakes you guys up.
Yeah. So
Damn.
that plays all through the station. And the first tone is, if it's just one tone, like ba-ding, it's us, and if it's ba-ding, like, hold up.
different tones, huh?
You guys are working with different tones.
So our neighboring department, their tones are high low, and ours are low high.
Oh, damn! Is that
And-
ever confusing?
You get used to it.
Yeah.
So like that call right there was a high low, and then a low high, which
So both of
means
y'all.
a fire in that district.
Oh, okay, I got you.
If it's just a low high, boom, ding, then that's us,
Okay.
and that's a medical call, or car
I
wreck,
gotcha.
or whatever. But if it's low high, high low, then it's a fire in our district.
Hell yeah.
Do you
Hey.
have a alarm for like serious? Like, do they have a separate if something's like really bad?
No,
So you don't know what you're pulling up to when you wake up?
well, no. So you'll hear the tone, and then the dispatcher will come over, and they'll say, blah blah blah, department respond to blah 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 at blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. So they'll tell you like what the incident is, and then where the address is, and So with me being a driver, sergeant, it's my job to hear that address and then know, where to go.
Dude, that's
Good
another
push.
thing is like
Thank you.
you had to learn. I remember you like having to learn all the streets and stuff. Like, every street in where you're at. That's crazy,
yeah.
dude.
No, as a driver, it's a lot of responsibility because you're taking 4 guys.
Yeah. So are you driving?
Yeah.
Dude, like 3
Really?
a.m. That's got to be tough. Like
Dude,
you're
yeah,
just out of bed.
You're in a dead sleep, and then you hear that tone, and then 5 seconds later, a lady's yelling at you, telling you where to go.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
so,
Pretty fast pace.
yeah.
Oh,
And,
so they tell you?
yeah,
like,
they tell you.
Map you kind of?
No, they just tell you the address.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just tell you the address, and then like we have a big map going out to our bay,
Uh-huh.
so we don't have like GPS or anything in the truck. We have like
Really?
a paper map.
What?
Damn.
So
And
you have to like remember where
you,
you're at.
Yeah, so you go over there and you're
Jeez.
like, okay, this address, this is the best way to get there. And then like if it's a fire, you got to look at hydrants.
Yeah.
So and then
That's
like
on the map as well.
yeah, and then
Hydrants.
like our pump panel is on the driver's side. And
Nice.
it doesn't have to be facing the fire,
Right.
but it makes it a lot easier. And so then you have to be like, okay, well, the address is here, but I'm going to come up and around so my pump panel's on that side.
Nice. Okay.
But
I got what
yeah,
you're saying. So that's probably why you don't have a GPS, so you don't get there and like you have to turn around.
We could.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
We could. A lot of departments, we have GeoSafe,
Right.
which is like a reporting system, or not a reporting system. It's like you can see where the cops are, you can see where the incident is,
Right,
and then dispatch updates it with new information. Like
Right.
if the cops get on scene
Before
and-
you or
yeah, say it's an overdose,
Right.
and the cops get on scene and they administer Narcan,
right.
they'll put that in the notes,
Right.
and so we show up and they're like, okay, there's 4 milligrams of Narcan has already been administered, kind of thing.
So give us an idea of like your daily routine. Say there's no crazy calls that day. You get into work. Just give us kind of a daily routine of what you're doing.
Okay, so our shift starts at 7.
Okay.
7 in the morning, ends at 7 in the morning the next day.
Okay.
I usually show up before 6.
Okay.
Usually, like, it kind of differs, kind of how I'm doing that day.
Yeah.
But-
Decompress a little bit. Like give yourself a little time.
Yeah, yeah. I'll like drink some coffee,
Yeah.
drive into work. But like first thing, get there, put my station clothes on, and then we're making coffee, just kind of shooting the shit until shift starts.
Right.
Unloading the dishwasher, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you're basically doing it because I know Tyler was talking about, or maybe it was you, said he's like cleaning bathrooms for a whole summer straight. Or,
Yeah.
like doing stuff like that. So that's just everyone's kind of got their own little duty to do, take care of that, like a little housekeeping.
Yeah, well, like when you're the rookie, you don't really
Yeah.
sit at the table and drink coffee, and
You got
you
shit
do,
to
you do, but with like I know when I was a rookie, I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
I was constantly doing something. So
Right.
I come to work, I'm making coffee, unloading the dishwasher, and then while the other guys are kind of shooting the shit, I'm out studying the truck or
Yeah.
practice putting my gear on or cleaning or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, so we usually shoot the shit until about 7, and then at 7 we go out and we start truck checks.
Right.
Do our truck checks. We go through all of our medical bags, everything, and then as the driver, I'm going through the entire truck,
Right.
opening every compartment, making sure everything's in there. Turn the truck on, turn it to pump, and then test my pump, test everything.
Right.
Once we get done with that, and it kind of differs on the shift. Some people work out, some shifts work out. Shift that I'm on now, we cook breakfast, eat
Mhm.
breakfast, and then we usually start like our daily chores.
Right.
And then from 12 to 1:30 we have lunch. A lot of guys use that time to like study.
Right.
So
So let me ask you this. Sorry to interrupt you.
Very good.
So this is like a building full of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You ever have like arguments and like
Oh, dude, yeah.
altercations?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, take 18 guys and put them together. I mean, you can imagine like
Yeah.
what happens, like
Yeah.
the jokes and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
pranks and fights, and I mean,
Yeah.
It's
You used to-
basically like a football locker room.
Yeah, when you first started, you went through that breaking in stage,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
lots
you
of
used to tell me like, y'all
Lots
do
of
some
hazing.
crazy
Hazing
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So is that normal? And
yeah, and the culture in the fire department there. I mean, we're trying to move away from that, like real hazing.
Yeah. But just like some friendly jokes.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, friendly jokes, and they're gonna. At the end of the day, those guys are there for you, but
yeah,
they're gonna make it a little tough on you. But
Yeah.
it makes it so much more rewarding once you get close to those guys and once you're in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, you had to go through that.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
Man, one thing I didn't know is like when you guys aren't fighting, like going to a medical issue or fighting a fire, you're actually like doing, I mean, it's pretty much like a job you're at.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, it's from the outside looking in, people could say, oh, they're just like, what do they do? They're just hanging out. Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like hanging out playing video games or whatever, but you have like from like an 8-hour period, right?
Mhm.
Where you guys are doing like actual stuff if you're not out on call.
So like I said, we're doing our daily chores. So it could be mowing the yard, cleaning the stations, cleaning the bay.
Right.
And then like we got to do training. So we do like lots of fire training. We have continuing education for our EMTs and our
Right.
advanced EMTs. So we have to do that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be done. Our work day ends at 4.
Yeah.
And so at 4 we can go throw shorts on, sit in
Hang
the
out.
recliners.
You guys like to play tennis?
Yeah,
You
we'll
guys
go out
play
and
a
play
lot
tennis.
of tennis?
So
But
what,
from 7 to 4, we're working. We're
Hell
doing
yeah.
something.
what are some stuff you like to do off the schedule, but while you're on duty? Like, what are some things that you guys like to do at the station while you're not doing chores and stuff?
Man, there's a lot of stuff. We have this little like putt mat.
Oh,
We'll
hell
play
yeah.
station golf,
Hell yeah.
and so everybody gets to pick the course, which basically you just move the little putt mat around, and then you'll like flip chairs over.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
just
Make
build
your
like
own
little
course.
courses.
That's pretty cool.
So we'll do that. Like Matt said, we'll play tennis. Yeah,
Hell yeah. You just hang out.
just hang out. Yeah, watch
Hell yeah.
TV, movies, stuff
So,
like
obviously, you don't have to go into big detail, but like, do you have any crazy stories or like funny stories, just weird stories that you could tell?
that.
Maybe
Yeah,
without giving too much information.
yeah, dude. And I was trying to think like before y'all came over, it's like, man, like what? And a lot of guys, they'll have a notebook, and when they
Full
run a
of their
crazy
stuff.
call,
Yeah.
they'll write it down.
Yeah.
We had a guy, one of like probably the silliest reason that the truck got out of the bay.
Yeah.
Some guy swallowed a little bit of mouthwash,
Okay.
and he called poison control.
Mouthwash, huh?
He called poison
Dude, I think
control,
I swallow
and
a
they're
little
like,
bit of mouthwash every time.
they're like, yeah, we'll call 911, and so we show up, and I guess he just swallowed a little bit.
Yeah.
It was in his mouth. He's like, I spit, I was swishing it around and I accidentally swallowed some. And like, they're like, you just swallowed like a little bit of, because, we get toned out for like a poisoning.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
show up and he's like, yeah, like swallowed a little bit of mouthwash.
What the hell?
Dude, and I just thought like, man, this guy's gone his whole life thinking like when he's doing his mouthwash, like, oh, dude, if I swallow a
man,
little
that's
bit, like I'm
crazy,
done.
dude.
Can
That's
you
actually-
imagine like how scared
He
you'd
called
be?
in
Yeah.
for actual, like, I just poisoned myself.
Just the fact that he
Yeah.
still does mouthwash. If
Yeah,
he's
I know.
so
Like,
scared
dude,
of
if
it.
it was
Yeah.
so dangerous, like he was
Yeah.
That's crazy.
swishing bleach,
So you had to
bleach
get
or
you
something.
had to get the trucks out. You had to get dressed up. You had to go all the way over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
feel like
that's
that happens
that's what
a
they're
lot.
that's,
That's what
we're
you're there for.
That's what we're there for. And that's what we get paid for. But yeah, it was one of those where it was like, dude, use your brain.
Yeah,
like, you're
bro,
probably
come on,
good.
man.
And he was working himself
wonder if he
up.
drinks
He's like,
beer.
man, my stomach.
I wonder
My
if he drinks
stomach
alcohol.
Dude, yeah. He's like,
That's
man,
crazy.
my stomach hurts, and I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
everybody's got their own little fears, I guess. So.
yeah, dude, I got uncles that drink that.
Yeah.
Like that's a night out.
Yeah, that's a night out. Start your day with a little swig of
Yeah, a little
mouthwash.
mouthwash.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot, though, because you guys go through, like, a whole process when you're going out to a call.
Yeah.
And then you get there, and it's like, that was a waste. Like, obviously, you got to be there because
Yeah.
that's your job, but, like, I feel like those calls happen all the time.
Yeah. Well, and we have our regulars,
Yeah.
but dude, there's zero complaining because we get paid
Yep. To do that.
to do that,
Mhm.
and so, but yeah, you'll have people. We had a guy who would call, 5 times a shift.
Just
Are you
to,
kidding me?
Just to have you come for support.
So these guys are
Come
these
to-
guys on something or what?
Just a lot of times, man, it's just older people and lonely,
Yeah.
and then like there's really not like very good systems in place for people that don't have family
Yeah.
that are, say, overweight or
Yeah.
have medical issues or have a hard time getting around.
Yeah, they
You know,
they need some assistance.
They're not quite ready for a nursing home,
but they're pushing.
but they have a hard time getting
Mhm.
around.
Yeah.
And so like you fall down, it's like,
Yeah, we got to call
but
somebody.
dude, that's what we're there for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we run a lot of those. That makes up a majority of our calls, is just picking
Stuff like
people
that.
up.
And I bet you guys don't mind doing those because it's not like you're not like, it gives you something to do, obviously,
Right.
and you're not like on a crazy call.
Right.
Like it's probably pretty like nice for you guys to run those just because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it depends. We do reports on every call.
Yeah.
And so
You got to go and write down everything.
dude, if you're 10 calls in
Yeah.
and guy calls because he needs water from his kitchen and he's in his living room, it's like, dude, I'm 10 reports behind. Like I'm gonna have to go put that in. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what we're there for. And
So what about, growing up as a kid, like all this stuff with something that came with firefighters was also rescuing cats out of a tree.
never done it.
You've never done it?
Never done it. Tyler has.
He has?
Tyler has. No, we haven't done that. We've rescued ducklings
Okay.
out of the river.
Hell
They have
yeah.
we call it a river, but it's it's all concrete. It's where all the like runoff water goes
Right.
through, and when it rains pretty heavy, it gets flown pretty good, and there's a grate. Well, these ducks
got caught in it.
caught in that grate.
Dang.
Man.
So, and then like a dog fell down in there, and it's pretty steep.
Yeah.
So rescued a dog out of there.
Damn.
Ducks. No
Hell
cats
yeah.
and trees though.
So I remember when you were in the academy, so you were showing me videos of like, you have to get over your fear of like claustrophobia,
Mm-hmm.
of like small spaces, shit
Yeah.
like that. How often do you see stuff like that to where you have to get into something that,
Man,
or is it pretty, is that just kind of preparing you for the worst?
it's kind of a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like fires.
Yeah, so they have these things called entrapment boxes, and it's a probably 3x3 box that's
Yeah.
open, and they'll take wires and they'll run it through it. And when you're wearing all your bunker gear,
Yeah, that sucks.
you have a hose coming from your respirator, you have your pack, and basically you'll crawl in there and get stuck.
Yeah.
And it can take 10 minutes to figure your way out of there. And so
Man,
it's
that's
kind of just
crazy.
testing you, like,
Your mental.
how are you gonna?
Yeah, I know what you're gonna do, if you're gonna
Like-
freak out or not.
And also, like, can you get to your wire cutters?
Yeah.
So, like, a really, really good thing to carry is wire cutters. If we're in a house fire
Yeah.
and the integrity of the ceiling, is bad and it comes down on you, you're gonna
Yeah.
have wires, air conditioning ducts. I mean, you're
Right.
gonna have all sorts of stuff on you.
Yeah.
So it's like basically testing, like, what are you gonna do when this happens? Because
Yeah.
it's really easy just to freak out.
Right.
And I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people freak out.
Yeah.
So
Dude, and
Man.
it goes back to the point of being close with who you guys are brothers, but we used to turn all the lights off in your barn like before you started, remember?
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
we would do
doing,
like
search.
practice searches.
Really?
Yeah.
And like you have complete darkness and you're basically relying on the guy next to you
mm-hmm.
to like tell you your move or like
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
that was one
feel
thing.
around.
That was one thing that I didn't know was a thing. Is a house fire.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't see.
Yeah.
Like, you can put your hand in front of your mask. Like, you can't
see
see.
it.
You're relying on feel. This couch being fully synthetic, like,
Up in
it puts
flames.
off like the darkest smoke and a lot of it and a lot of
Really?
heat. And so, like, to fill this living room with smoke, it wouldn't take very long.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is fucking nuts.
That's nuts.
So
dude.
you go in and
You can't see shit.
you can't hardly see.
So
Yeah,
Matt and I
you have lights and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like you're just looking at smoke.
Do they
Yeah.
train you like on like feel? Obviously they probably do, but like if
Yeah,
it's
so we-
complete darkness and you don't know what's in the living room you're going in. Like,
Yeah, so we do a lot of training where we'll black our masks out and then we'll have to go in and find somebody.
Yeah.
We actually had this one where you take a bolt and a nut,
You have to go find
a
them.
bolt, a nut, and a washer, and a crew of 2 go in. They turn the lights off. It was in the bay, and you find the bolt, the nut, and the washer, and you have to go at the end and put them together.
Jeez.
And our gloves, it's like basically wearing like oven mitts.
Yeah.
I mean, your dexterity is awful.
Right.
So, yeah, we do lots of training with that. Like, just you can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
anything, go find this. you know.
That's crazy.
And then having good communication, you know, we have a lot of really cool tools, like our thermal imaging camera can help.
That's pretty cool.
So we do this thing called VES, vent, enter, isolate, search. And so it's basically like if we show up on scene and say this bedroom back here, hey, my kid's in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So like our first action is going to be, we're going to vent that room. We're going to take the window and then we're going to go in and isolate. We're going to shut the door.
Right.
And then like you're going to have one guy at the window with a tick and he's going to be looking, and you're going to have your interior guy who's doing your searching.
Right.
But yeah.
So aside from all that, sorry, I keep interrupting. So you do all this stuff for people. You're basically saving people's lives majority of the time and all that kind of stuff. What?
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
no matter what call you're going on, you're basically
you could be put in the situation to save somebody's life.
You're bettering the situation.
Do you? I'm sure people, like, when they do call you and you help them out, you don't really have to necessarily be saving their life, but I'm sure they're super grateful most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they ever I'm sure that makes you feel good when someone comes up to you and they're like, I appreciate you guys. And
dude, it's really easy to lose that.
Yeah.
That compassion for people just because you are doing it so much.
Yeah. You kind of get numb to it.
You get numb to what you're really doing.
Yeah.
And then there'll be one call where they'll be like super thankful.
Yeah.
Or they'll bring cookies up to the station like the next shift.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, like we really helped them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's got to feel good though. Like every once in a while, you stop and think and say, man, I'm really kind of, that's cool though that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
So,
because it's pretty easy just to be like, this is my job. Just doing my job. I get paid to do this. Why I'm here.
Which makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think that's how it is at every job.
You guys are normally like the first ones to show up to a scene, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like out of like police, ambulance.
So police usually get there first if it's a call. So like overdoses, stabbing, shootings, suicides, all that stuff. Like the cops are going to be going to that. Car wrecks.
Right.
And then they're Tahoes or what do they drive? Explorers that they drive. They're a lot quicker than
fast
fire
as shit.
truck.
Yeah.
They're like, we're coming through an intersection.
Fair enough.
So you mentioned car wrecks. Is that a pretty normal thing, going to car wrecks?
Dude, where I work, we don't get any like highway wrecks or anything. It's usually just
that's
like
probably a good thing as far as your
just,
mental well-being.
Yeah. And I know my dad runs a lot of those, and that's usually where like his bad calls come from.
Yeah.
But no,
I can't imagine that, man.
Like our highest speed limit where I work is 40.
Okay. So all right.
Man, the good thing about like you have all this training instilled in you. Like yesterday when we passed that dude on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was crazy. And you guys have that training to where like even outside of work you could help a situation out.
Yeah, for sure.
What was it? Did you go help somebody?
But we didn't stop. There was quite a few people already stopped, and it was like a really bad
area.
It was a bad place. Like you don't want to stop here. Just it was on the highway on a bridge.
Mm-hmm. No shoulder.
No shoulder. I was like, man, like he got in a motorcycle wreck. He got hit. You know, basically with no tools. Yeah. Me and Tyler can do CPR.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't have splints or tourniquets or really anything, monitor, nothing. So we ended up to just, driving by. But like if that situation would have been on I-40, with a big shoulder, we would have stopped. But there was a lot of people.
You just have that, like, even when you have kids and stuff, like you have, if anything ever goes down, you know how to take care of the situation.
Right. Yeah.
It's good to know, man.
Automatically kind of go into work mode. And
so I had this question too in my notes. Your dad's a firefighter, you're a firefighter. What are the chances you think if your son's going to be a firefighter? You think it runs in the bloodline or what?
Dude, if he wants to do it, then, I'll fully support it. But
hell yeah.
Just depends on what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also don't want your kids like doing the same thing you did just because you did it. You want them to actually want to enjoy it and all that kind of stuff too. So.
Yeah. And like my dad never pressured me to do it. It was like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
speaking of that, you're having a kid, dude.
I am having a kid. Yeah.
You
coming
excited?
October.
You nervous?
Dude, you're in that state. Like you're about to have a kid.
Dude, I'm just excited for him to be here.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hell yeah, that'd be cool. I think you're gonna be a good dad, dude.
It's gonna give.
I gotta go pee real quick. Y'all keep talking.
This sounds bad, but like, it's gonna give me something to do. I don't work an off job. And so I work 10 days a month. It's like, man, I have my little man here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll hang out, go fishing.
That's one good thing is you'll be able to spend a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll be around
mm-hmm.
for your kid.
Dude, I just know, like, how much of an influence and an impact, like, my dad had on me, just being
mm-hmm.
such a good dad. I'm just ready to do that,
How do you, because I know you see a lot, you do a lot. How do you, like, are you worried about, like, having to decompress around your kid as far as?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Dude, so, like, sometimes when I get off work, and my dad was always really good about hiding that. Not hiding it, but not showing
it.
We could tell if dad had a bad call. Just, he was off and, but yeah, I'll, like sometimes coming home from work, if we had a rough day or a rough call or something, I'll sit in my truck, in the driveway for an hour before I come in.
Mm-hmm.
And Kellen, my wife, kind of knows, like, and I'll tell her like, hey, like had a rough call, I'm gonna go get in bed, kind of thing. But yeah, once you're a dad and the wife goes to work, you don't really have that decompression time.
Like little kid running around, you don't. I mean, if he needs you. He's gonna be all up on you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely gonna have to learn how to be able to decompress and take care of a kid.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it'll come with challenges, dude. But I mean, I feel like you're good at overcoming. I feel like this whole little group of friends we got is. So
mm-hmm.
I think you'll be all right, man. So we're 36 minutes in. Let's get off the whole firefighting thing. Let's talk about some friendship shit, huh? Matt, what do you think?
Dude, let's talk about some fishing.
Go ahead,
fishing,
man.
Dude. You're a big fisherman.
Me and Matt.
Let's talk about yesterday.
Me and Matt had
great
a good day.
That's
what Matt said. He said y'all went out there and slayed.
Ideal conditions, dude.
Dude, weather was perfect.
It was beautiful.
Kayaks, like low wind, so they weren't pushing you around. It was a good day.
Yeah.
I think I caught 15, 16.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I was stressing.
Why were you stressing?
I was stressing at first because I was like, these are the best conditions. I know, like, I'm not a great fisherman, but I'm average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I should be catching something.
Yeah.
So I was like, Blake's over here reeling in just back to back. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm throwing the same bait as you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you go to that pond all the time. Like,
yeah, I'm there a couple times a week. Like,
but he gave me a brush hog, and I literally was just tearing them up.
Matt
like,
didn't
towards
catch a
the
fish
end.
for the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm just reeling them in.
That's
and
never fun,
I was just
bro.
making my rounds too. I mean, I traveled one side of the pond to the other, and I just couldn't.
That's never fun when you're with somebody and they're catching fish and you're not.
Yeah. It's always, dude.
And then it also sucks as the person that brought them out.
Yeah,
you're like,
dude. And then finally, like, I kind of slowed down fishing. I was like, all right, Matt,
let's figure out.
Come
what's
over.
going on.
Yeah.
See that pile?
Yeah.
Throw it on that pile. But yeah, and I had to come home early, have dinner with my wife when she got off.
Right.
But I feel like if we would have stayed out there, we would have we left in prime time.
Right when we were leaving,
it started
is
getting
when
dark
I was like catching every cast.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hang on, I'm about to catch one more,
dude.
And then I caught, like, it was just crazy.
There was another guy out there, and
oh god.
So this pond has big fish in it.
Yeah.
A little hard to catch, but they've been caught. 9-pounders have been caught out of this pond.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that one you took me to a long time ago? We took that little 2-man boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Matt, I was like, I think I've been out there, but
yeah, this guy's fishing on the bank, and like I never see anybody out there.
Yeah.
So I go, strike a conversation with him. I'm talking to him, and he hooks up with a big fish. And I was on the kayak, so I wasn't really looking, but I look back over, and his rod snapped in half.
Holy shit!
And he's over there like cussing.
Yeah, he's freaking out.
And I'm like, dude, do you have a big one? He's like, dude, I had him right at the bank. That was probably a 8-9 pounder. It
Holy shit!
Broke his rod.
Holy shit, man!
His rod just snapped.
Oh,
in
I would
half.
hate that.
I was asking Blake too. I was like, we're on these kayaks. What are we doing if we snag a 10-pounder?
It'll pull you around a little bit.
Yeah,
you're along for the ride.
You're along for the ride at that point.
You just gotta wait till you tire him out a little bit.
Dude, keep him out of the brush piles.
Yeah.
I've never caught. The biggest fish I've ever caught was that one out there.
Dude, that was probably
6.5.
6.5. Easy. I mean, that was a big fish.
I don't know.
I was listening to a podcast, or I was listening to something the other day. When we were growing up, and like especially our dads, when they were fishing, like a 10-pounder was like, that's something you could only dream of.
Oh yeah,
catching a 10-pounder. It's still that way for a lot of people. I mean, hell, I'd love to catch a 10-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, you look at the more recent bass tournaments and stuff, dude, they're pulling out
crazy.
They're pulling out 10-pounders the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it's crazy.
And I think a lot of that is just like advancements in like fish finders,
technology, because they have those
reels and baits and boats. Like
they're constantly coming out with new reels.
There's never been a better time to get into fishing because, dude, you can.
You can go to Walmart and get a nice pole for $50. It's already set up for you.
Yeah,
maybe 70, and you can go out there and
$50. You can buy everything you need to go catch a fish.
100%.
There's never been, and then with the wildlife department, the pond that's by the fire station is like a fish locally. Yeah, or I can't remember what it's called, like their program.
Yeah,
but they go around and stock ponds, manage ponds. They have fish feeders in them.
Yeah.
So
is that a pretty good pond?
I've never caught a fish out of it.
Have you fished it?
I fished it.
I thought about fishing it because I have this app. I forgot what it's called, but it'll show you like it's basically Instagram for fishing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You just scroll down and people are like, "Oh, I caught this at this pond, this lake,
shows
whatever."
You locations.
Yeah. And that one popped up one day. I was like, so I googled it. Obviously, you can fish there as long as you have your license or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dude, I'm really about to go out there, but I don't want to look like an idiot. Like, what the hell are you doing out here?
Yeah.
But hell yeah, dude, fishing's fun, bro.
Yeah, it's speaking of decompressing.
That's a good way to do it.
100%.
That's a good way.
Even as a kid, like just being out there.
Yep.
No car noise, no nothing.
That's what
fishing,
we talked about it on one of the podcasts.
We just got done talking about it. It's kind of like, I mean, I love to fish, but like it's kind of like golf too.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
being outside
and being by yourself and like just taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
You need it, man.
Man, and it's crazy. Like I said, I'm out there a couple times a week, and I've fished for ever. And I got excited yesterday. I was on the kayak and I caught like a big crappie. I mean, he's probably this big, and I was like, man, I love this shit. Like,
yeah, it pumps you up.
You just get pumped up. It's like, man, it's crazy. I've been doing something for so long, and I've done it so much, and you can still just get.
Yep.
That's like hunting. Too.
Yeah, 100%.
We were talking yesterday about top water and worms and stuff. What do you like to?
It depends on
what's your favorite type of. Do you like to set the hook, or do you like a top water where they come up?
Just depends on kind of like where I'm at and what the conditions are. You know, if it's windy or all that kind of stuff, a little top water. Mm-hmm. Or if you're in a bunch of lily pads or brush or whatever, throw a little top water. Mm-hmm. I don't really necessarily like them. Top water are fun, but I feel like the fish don't bite them as much, for me at least. But I mean, you can catch a pretty big fish because but
you can cover a lot of area with a top water.
Yeah,
I like the satisfaction of like.
Yeah,
dude, setting the hook.
Dude, I'm a worm guy.
I'm a plastic worm dude, bro.
Dude, I love it. Like the finesse that goes into it,
bro. Or like
finding a brush pile.
So for the longest time, I'll be honest, like I'd throw a worm in there and I just reel it in slow. Then I got into like this past year or whatever, actually trying to like finesse the like Texas rig. You know, you throw it down there, it's floating straight up. You got to pop, you got to kind of pull it up,
bring it up, let it sink,
let it sit,
bring it up.
All that kind of stuff. It's interesting. And you get out there and you're like, some people don't have fun because it's kind of just boring. They're just reeling it in, casting, reeling it in. But once you start to understand, like you look at it from the fish's point of view, you can kind of like start like finessing and shit, and like
it gets really fun when you can go out and you're like, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be bass in there.
Yeah.
Like that looks bassy.
Yeah,
like,
and I know how to get them.
Like my advice to anybody, and like what I do to like my wife, and when people that spinnerbait, throw a spinnerbait.
Yeah,
like
they call that a locator. That's how you know. Like,
really,
yeah,
like where they're at.
Yeah, so like if you're not catching anything, you throw a spinnerbait on. You just go around the pond a couple of times, and where you catch a couple fish, that's probably where most of the fish are gonna be. I don't know.
Spinnerbait's probably like. I mean, it's
pretty fun, though.
Pretty self-explanatory. You throw it and reel it in.
Yeah,
it's tried and true. They catch fish.
Yeah,
and you don't have to necessarily know where the fish are.
Yeah,
so like when me and my wife go, like I'm fishing brush piles.
Yeah,
I'm flipping jigs in there, stuff like that, and it's like Kellen's just throwing like out in the middle of the pond.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's definitely fun, bro.
Spinnerbait's tried and true. You'll catch fish on them.
What about catfishing? You like catfishing?
Dude, I wish I was better at it.
Dude, I've never really been a big fan.
I love it.
So I don't
really.
Yeah.
Every time I've went, I don't like. How are you good at it? I mean, every time I've went, you just let it sit at the bottom, and
so knowing where they are,
and then how to because you can set your bobber to where the hook is either at the ground or in the middle.
Yeah,
or
I've always fished.
I've always fished
off the bottom. So
yeah, they do. slip corking, where you can take your bait and basically with your bobber find the depth.
Yeah.
And then set it to where your bait's setting a couple inches off the ground, which is really where you want it. I always just fish chicken liver on the bottom. And like your ponds and stuff, there might be a foot, 2 foot of moss or vegetation
on
or
the
something.
bottom.
So they really have to like smell it out and find it to where if you're slip corking, you can just put it right there in their face.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Like there's a guy that I've gone with that he does slip corking and he makes his own punch bait, stuff like that. It's like, man,
did you catch
one of these days I'm gonna get into it.
Yeah,
but
there's a dude that me and my cousin went to fish at his pond, and we pull up and he's got 2 John boats out there. Each one, or he's got a bass boat and like a John boat, and every one of them has just poles stick. Like he's got a pole for every occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And we start talking. He's like, "Man, I think you ought to. You ever seen this?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "We ought to throw this." And you ever seen this? I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, this is good for this." And like, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, those pro fishermen don't like. They're not changing their lures, bro. They have different poles set up. So
I always go with 2. Do you go with 2?
With two
poles?
Depends on if I'm catching fish or not.
Yeah.
If I'm like when we go out to the lake, I'll start with 2.
Yeah.
And then it's usually more hassle than.
Yeah.
Because like I'm watching both of them. Usually at night, so you gotta have 2 lights on them.
Yeah.
And then you catch one on here, and then you're worried about this.
I'm talking about just bass fishing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'll keep a spinner on one, and I have one with a hook set and like a weight on it. That way I can, if I'm doing worms, I can just swap the worm out or whatever. But
yeah, my lighter rod I usually use for like worms,
mm-hmm.
just like having that finesse.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a heavier rod for crankbaits and spinner baits. And
it's fun, bro. Let's get into party phases.
That was a good time.
A great time.
That was good.
We were going out there every weekend.
Well, dude, and the thing was, like, I worked 10 days a month.
Yeah.
It was during COVID, so nobody was working.
Dude, can we talk about that? So it was like when we first started getting everybody together, dude, it was right at the beginning of COVID. And I remember my mom being scared. I don't want you going over there. There's COVID. And dude, for the first like couple months that we partied over there, there was nobody really ever got COVID. And then we had one Halloween party
that everybody got it.
And everybody got it.
Yeah.
Dude. But dude, some of the funnest nights were over there. And
it was a good time, dude.
And it was fun. Nobody ever had problems.
Well, and that was the thing. It was like, there was a couple rules.
Yeah.
No fighting.
But everybody, here's the thing is that everybody was
chill.
Everybody was chill and everybody followed those rules.
Like if you came over there, you knew.
Yeah.
It's a good time and it's safe. Like,
it was awesome, dude.
You hear crazy parties, people getting their ears bit and stuff.
It was a perfect, and it just like progressively got better and better. Like we would just go over there with just like me, him, and Tyler, and it would turn into just like...
We would always do that. We'd plan on like having a party or having a get-together thing, and it'd be a couple people. We'd be like, kind of like, well, where the hell's everybody at?
This kind of didn't work out.
And then midnight comes around, dude, that whole place is packed with people we don't even... How to make it here.
Nut to butt. Like, I don't even know who you are.
Oh, who's that? Invite them. Yeah. And then it'd just grow.
Yeah, it was usually like, we had our normal people we'd invite.
100%. And they'd show up. And everybody was...
And then next thing you know, dude, it's...
Yep, their friends, their friends' friends, and
dude, let's talk. Awesome. Let's talk about the kegerator. Remember that phase?
Yeah.
I saw a video popped up on my phone, and you guys it was you and Hunter, and you guys were just like putting your mouth under the kegerator. But dude, that was dangerous.
It was a good time.
Just roll up to the fridge and fill you a glass.
Yeah. Like, well, and you know what I liked about it is nobody really drank liquor. Like. And
no one was
when we did, it usually was like, let's not do that again. Yeah. So like everybody's just cool drinking beer. Everybody's just hanging out. Nobody's getting like super, like passed out on them. I mean, it happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it happens. The thing too is like we'd have a crazy night. Stuff would happen, good and bad, whatever. And everybody in our little friend group would wake up and we'd all gather around and be like, wow, that was crazy.
Eat some breakfast.
We'd go eat breakfast.
It was a good time. But man, it was definitely tough because it was like beginning stages of me, working at the fire department.
Yeah.
So it was like I'm juggling like a lot of responsibility here where I'm having to learn a bunch of stuff and
I think it was kind of like like last stage of, I guess, not really childhood, but like...
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad that Like if we didn't do that, I think I would have been
missed
like
it. You feel like you missed out,
like missed out because then I didn't go to college.
Yeah,
and so
same.
We needed that party.
Like, a lot of that stuff usually happens at college, and
yeah,
I didn't. So
I had fun, bro. It was always awesome.
I'm gonna go pee real quick.
All right.
Try not to push this table over.
Oh, I have a crazy story we can put in here. Remember that time you took me coyote hunting and you shot the coyote in between the eyes?
Dude, and it was the craziest thing ever because I didn't think I hit him.
Yeah.
So we're walking through this wheat field, and my tree stand was probably...
Dude, remember how windy it was that day?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were going to blow over.
Dude, my tree stand was probably 200 yards away from where we were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or from like the edge of that cornfield.
Yeah.
Or the wheat field. So I lay a shot at this coyote.
Crazy.
I just see his head poking out.
Yeah.
So I lay down, bipod everything, send a shot at him, and dude, it was probably a 300-yard shot.
Yeah, crazy shot.
Like I was just sending one at him.
Yeah.
And his head ducked down, and
we're like,
man,
we'll go look.
Him. So we get up to the tree stand and we start calling, and I don't remember if we ever called in.
We had a couple come, I think, but they were way too far. We just didn't ever.
Yeah, and on our way back to the truck, I'm like, oh shit. A dead coyote right there.
Yeah.
And look at him, dude. It's just
perfect.
Right in between the eyes.
If you took a tape measure and measured the entry to each eye, I mean, it was
right dead
surgical.
Center. It was crazy. That was a cool ass moment.
I went with you. I went coyote hunting with you one time. It's the only time I ever went, but like...
Did we kill anything?
No, we were just out there for like 4 hours.
Coyote hunting's fun, though.
We saw a couple.
As long as you're
they
getting
didn't get
some.
close enough in to where...
Yeah. Dude, I haven't coyote hunted in a long time. I think that might have been the last time I went.
I think, it might have been the last time I went, too, actually.
Well, dude, I got dogs.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never had dogs of my own.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of weird, huh?
So when I got a dog, and especially like a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Like
it damn near looks like a coyote.
It looks like a coyote. I'm like, dude, and she's like the sweetest, like smartest dog. And it's like, dude, I know coyotes are that.
Just about the same thing. It's like, just a little wild.
Yeah. I could honestly go without coyote hunting. Yeah. Like I got duck hunting.
But I mean, weird. People do coyote hunt to like for cattle and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I mean it's needed.
If you have chickens or calves or whatever, I mean,
but if you're doing it as fun, it's kind of weird.
There's people that get too far into it. Like there's you'll see, and a lot of times it's like volunteer fire departments will
go out there
host coyote hunts.
Yeah.
And then they'll be 100 dead coyotes. A group of guys will go out and kill 25 coyotes. Like, it's like, dude, what do you think that does to the population?
One thing I do want to do is helicopter hunt.
Oh, for hogs?
Hog hunting on a helicopter, bro. Yeah. It's so badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Thermal, just.
Have you ever been out there? You've been out there with my dad, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
dude, you need to go.
Yeah.
Have you not gone?
I have never. As long as I've known him, I've never gone with him.
It's crazy.
Book it and I'll be there.
Okay. We've tried. Like you've invited me a lot, but I just never have been able to go.
It's crazy, bro. Like,
but you guys do the whole process with like dogs,
knives. It's crazy, bro.
Dude, it was probably 2 a.m. before we got on some pigs.
Yeah. Oh, my dad will just keep going.
Dude, but it goes from 0
to 100.
To 100. Like
your dad
you've been sitting in the truck for 3 hours, and next thing you know, you got blood pouring all over your hand.
You're sprinting,
stabbing pigs. Dude, it's
it's one of the weirdest. Thing. Like, it's weird because you're so adrenaline. Like, your adrenaline's just going. It's I tell everybody, like, you'll never feel anything like it.
Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
Your dad's gonna find a hog too. Oh, your dad's like super.
He's not gonna quit till
he's on the
into
hunt,
it.
Yeah. Like I said, we started at like right at dark at 9.
He won't say a word for like 4 hours.
It was 2 before we got on some pigs.
Yeah,
and I think it was just probably a bad night.
It was crazy. Just 0 to 100.
He was locked in.
Do you know how many times and he always likes to roll with the windows down. It'll be freezing
cold.
Bro, it'll be always just so cold.
When is like a prime?
Every time, anytime. There's so many hogs out there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we went down to South Texas and hunted with Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they have the setup out there. It's crazy. We went out with thermals. It was fun, dude. And you shoot them. You shoot at a group, and then you go out the next day and like just look for like the buzzards flying over.
Oh yeah.
To see like what you got.
Yeah. That's nuts, dude.
It was fun.
Bro.
Yeah,
it's definitely way different than sitting on the couch.
Those thermal scopes are nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got like I don't know if he probably does, but I don't know. He's got this little handheld thermal camera or thing.
Yeah.
You just look out in the field and you can just see little white dots everywhere.
Dude, that's basically what our thermal imaging camera is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, dude, if I could take this thing hunting, dude.
Yeah.
Your dad's pretty like bare hand style.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he though? Like you guys don't use guns, do you?
I mean, we have one on us, or he does, but no. You just literally run up to the hog. You grab its behind two legs and lift it up.
Stab it.
It's crazy,
dude,
bro.
I'm telling you, when he handed me the knife, dude, like it's a machete.
Yeah.
And that's nuts.
Yeah.
I bet it was fun. Like it was probably like fun for you. Never seeing.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, we just sat in the truck for so long, and then next thing I know, I'm standing over a pig with a knife. It's like you don't even realize what you're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and you wake up the next day, and you're like, dude, that was insane.
Yeah,
that was nuts. We went to war. It was like,
it brings out like a barbaric side of you didn't think you had, bro.
Those hogs are mean too, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, it's nuts. It's a good time. I talk about it a lot with like coworkers and stuff. I'm
a lot of people want to go, man. Every time I bring it up, people are like, man, I need to go.
Yeah, when your dad loves it.
Oh yeah, and I don't think he's doing too much of it anymore. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's been telling me I need to go get some people out there and go. So we need to do that.
I know I have some coworkers that would love to go.
Yeah, let me know, dude, and I can just call them and then we can all go or whatever. And
yeah, dude, that'd be such a good time.
Yeah, shout out Lucky 13 Outfitters.
There you go, dude. We need some merch.
Yeah, no,
I need some Lucky 13 stickers or something.
Hey, hit him up, dude. Next time we go out there, he's got boxes full of it, I'm sure.
Really?
So,
yeah.
I guess
wrap it up.
We can wrap it up, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
We'll have
to having me, man.
We'll have to get Tyler on here.
Mm-hmm.
Little battle of the besties.
Battle of the firemen.
Yeah. It'd be a good time.
Yeah. We'll do a little late night one. This is kind of more of a professional
we need thing. We need a couple Miller Lights.
Yeah. You have suits in there. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I can just take the camera off and we can video that and put it at the end or something. But
okay. Yeah, we'll have to mark.
Check out the YouTube channel.
Check out YouTube.
Check out YouTube. We're about to do a little contest. So thanks for listening. Make sure you guys leave a good rating, whatever, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I only have one mask, so don't do it.
Yeah. How do you do that? Like that?
Yeah. And then you don't have to put your gloves on because you don't have any gloves. Get out of the way.
Blake, you tell us when to go.
Wait, let me get this thing set up. I don't even know how it's going to go on.
Can't beat you. This is for the whole world.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, Hunter.
My boy's scooting.
Make sure you take your hoods down before you put your helmets on.
Where's the zipper? Oh, there it is. No. No. Where's the zip?
Zipper's tough. All right. Oh yeah.
We forgot gloves.
We don't have any. Is this on right?
Yeah, you're
This ain't right. You have to tighten this, don't you? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Woo!